Hi everyone, as Mark said, I'm Ryan Yeager. I'm based in Vancouver. I support public sector customers looking to adopt AWS Cloud at the provincial, municipal, Crown Court level, with other colleagues throughout Canada, supporting the same type of verticals but across the country as well. So I support everything west of Ontario, so I'm on the plane quite a bit, enabling public sector customers with AWS Cloud. So the agenda today, what I want to talk about, try and spend the first 20 minutes to give you a high-level idea and thoughts on how to secure for the cloud. We're going to talk about the shared responsibility model, what a secure cloud journey looks like, and some resources for you to take away and go deeper on your own. So when we begin, we have this concept of the shared responsibility model. But in your traditional on-premise world today, as you, the customer, you are responsible for everything in terms of your own data center. So that could be at the bottom when we look at your hardware. You're provisioning and acquiring your servers, your hard disks. You're doing your network, your wiring. You're installing the software, configuring the software. And then you're also responsible for the applications that you install on these servers and maintaining them in terms of all the different layers of the stack that you can see here, including the operating system, your firewall, your identity and access management, and your customer data. So today, in your on-premise world, this is what you're doing. You are responsible for everything. When we start thinking about cloud, we actually start to begin to share this responsibility. So if we talk about AWS, we are responsible for security of the cloud. And that includes things like securing the hypervisor, isolation of compute, storage, and networking, the data centers that we have, the perimeter security of these data centers. We are responsible for operating, maintaining, and securing those things. But then we entrust the customer, you are responsible for security in the cloud. And what does that mean? That means you're responsible for building secure applications, turning on encryption if that's something that you need to do, aligning with your organization's security policies. Quite often, the analogy of AWS is more like a Home Depot, where we provide all the different building blocks for you, and you're able to take them and build them for yourself. And when we look at the evolution, is that the shared responsibility is not static. And what does that mean? The previous slide I showed you is the one on the left, more of the infrastructure services, where we are responsible for what I just described to you. But as the services have evolved, we make it easier for the customer to adopt a service. So for example, databases. You could, on the left-hand side, install an operating system on a virtual machine, install your own database software, and then you are responsible for patching the operating system and the database, for example. But we have introduced services. And what does that mean? Does that mean we offer a database as a service, as an example? So you do not have the ability to log into the operating system. You don't have the ability to patch the database. You're provided an endpoint that you're able to communicate with. So that's one example. So what does that mean? It means the shared responsibility in that case is not static. It's shifted up a little bit. So we've taken on the responsibility of securing that operating system that's running that database, for example. We are responsible for patching that database. So that shifts up and up. And on the right-hand side, you can get even further abstracted away, where the customer can't even necessarily log into an AWS console where the workloads are running. This could be done by an idea of a SaaS solution running on AWS. So for example, like Salesforce, it runs in the Canadian region east, or other different types of SaaS products from other partners. While it may be running on AWS, the customer may not have the ability to access it, so they are responsible for ensuring those things are secure for the customer, and the customer is responsible for the data that they put into these systems. So what if there was a way to identify and address the issues that cause cloud projects to stall, stop, or cancel at the very beginning of the project? And that's the premise of what we call the AWS Cloud Adoption Framework. So this framework helps organizations understand how cloud adoption transforms the way they work. It leverages our experiences by helping customers get to the cloud throughout the world since 2006, since we've been doing cloud. And it begins by understanding the cloud adoption framework helps by identifying the different stakeholders in all the different areas of business. And we group these businesses into what we call perspectives. And there's 6 of them, which I'll highlight in the next slide. But this framework, it's a white paper to start off with, you can download and read. It really is not specific to any one cloud provider. You You could download this, read it, gain insights, apply it to AWS or any of the other cloud providers out there. But it's built from the experiences that we've gone through. We have different teams that could help. For example, we have professional services that could help with your cloud adoption framework and that journey. You, the customer, could do it yourself, or trusted partners. We all have the ability to help guide you along this cloud adoption journey. And there's no secret sauce in this cloud adoption framework. When you read the white paper, we don't hide anything back. We share what we're willing to share. So it's basically open knowledge, no secret sauce. So we look at the cloud perspective and the steps you would learn by reading this document and understanding what's necessary to adopt the cloud. We boil it down into 4 main steps. And I'll come back to, we'll dive a little bit deeper in the first and second one in a minute. But on the right-hand side, those 6 perspectives that I told you about, the cloud is not just an IT challenge. It really has to involve all those different business groups. So the business, which could include things like IT finance, educating them that cloud is based on a consumption, like a utility. You pay for what you use. It's a variable expense. You need to educate the business side. The people, learning about how to enable skills. So there could be skills refreshment needed for your people. So HR will need to be involved. Governance, what type of governance policies need to be defined for the use of cloud adoption. And the left-hand side in black represents the business perspectives. And on the right-hand side is more of the technology side, the platform, understanding what you can do on a cloud. For example, the compute, the storage, the databases. There's several different types of things you can leverage. The security, we'll come back to that because we're going to actually go deeper into this and unpack that as part of this talk. And operations, who do you need to have which stakeholders are part of your operations to ensure that the cloud is running and behaving and monitoring the way that you need. So we talked about a vision on the left here. So the cloud adoption framework will help you define and highlight what you need to achieve to get to the cloud. And if we think of, we'll try and give an example here. Suppose that you are a municipal infrastructure company and you are responsible for providing water to citizens. Some of the challenges that you may define as part of this process could be something like water scarcity, population growth, water leakage. You may have definable business success criteria, metrics. Could be customer satisfaction. It could be value for money. Business goals could be delivery of quality water supply, service improvement, having affordable bills. And the last one talks about defining how technology will enable your business outcomes. So when you think about enabling technologies, you could be part of this example. Maybe you want to learn about IoT to integrate meter sensor data, or do machine learning to drive insights and decisions, or automation for improved safety, or build external APIs to help your partner ecosystem. So these would be some of the things that would come out in a vision session, part of the cloud adoption framework. And then you move into the alignment phase, where you're able to basically define and create an actionable action plan across the different stakeholders. So that could look like learn about IoT, or define a governance process. And when you build this matrix that will help, the document will help guide you through this, basically you're coming up with actions, and they're going to be categorized in 2 things. It's either a process or it's a skill. And through that, you're going to be able to define and how to accelerate it to the launch and realize value steps, where you know what you need to do to enable your people and your business. So we go a little bit deeper on the security side. We have 5 core ethics. And ethics are what you're seeing on the right-hand side that we'll define a little bit later. But in terms of the stakeholders that would be part of the security perspective, it could be someone like the CISO, the Chief Information Security Officer, IT security managers, or IT security analysts. So those would be the individuals that would participate in the security perspective. At the bottom, we have the foundational level of the AWS Cloud Adoption Framework. And then we're going to go a little bit deeper into what that can look like and what tools could you have to help drive this process. So under the alignment phase, going back to the example, this could uncover some of your security actions, where if you have experience, and this will be a little bit more specific to AWS, but if you have experience on AWS and you want to learn about security, drive security knowledge, we have something called an AWS Jam, which is something like a hackathon, where you're able to be placed, your technical team can be placed in a scenario with the AWS console and actually try and solve a security scenario. It could be a breach, it could be, there's several different security scenarios that you can do and participate in to get hands-on experience, because you really don't know what you don't know. And out of this would be drivers into the following steps to basically continue the learning process. We have what we call an SRC blueprint, which is security and risk compliance blueprint that provides guidance on governance over security risk compliance at large enterprises, public sector adopting AWS. And really it really drives executive education, because that is really key to cloud adoption, to have the support from higher up to drive cloud adoption. In this case, the SRC blueprint is broken down into 5 different modules to help with cloud adoption. The first is an executive security simulation workshop, executive game. It's a gamified experience that is competitive against each other that participate. We have a different one as well, but this one, it's security focused. So it's a gamified half day where they basically are role playing through a guided board through different steps on a security simulation. So executives have the ability to learn in a safe way about security on the cloud. The second is a workshop, security AWS workshop for executives. The third is strategy alignment. So it's going to be a multi-week process that partners or professional services or yourself can guide yourself through to identify what your cloud goals are and the strategy to do it. We also have a cloud mapping control, which is the fifth one that really helps map what you need to do to get to the cloud. When we talk about the 5 core epics, I like to group them into 3 different categories, where we have a preventative component, which is identity and access management, we have infrastructure security, and data protection. Detective component I like to call logging monitoring, and finally the third one would be like responsive component. We're able to act on different components. So in the interest of time, we'll go a little bit deeper and zoom right into this. And this is a zoom in of the previous slide, and basically some key concepts here. And we're getting a little bit deeper onto the AWS side of technologies. It's really understanding some of the core things that you need to do to adopt cloud security. And the dark blue, try to move away. This dark blue over here is something that we'll focus on and have a brief talk on, and that's the concept of what we call a landing zone. So when you go out and you start educating yourself, you're going to hear landing zone, and it's going to mean a few different things. Landing zone could be a word used by partners to help you set up and deploy a set line of base governance and security in your AWS environment. We have what's called an AWS landing zone solution, which is something that you can download from a website that's automation and security that you can deploy into your AWS account that basically establishes most of what you see on the screen. Have you ever heard of the term security or governance and security? How do you build those guardrails into your AWS environment to help block and manage your AWS cloud environment? And that's what this is doing here. And it focuses on a few different areas: identity and access management, the users that are able to use your cloud environment, protection of your cloud infrastructure, know about your networking endpoints. Do you have the right web application firewall set up? Encrypting your data, so there's no reason not to encrypt your data. But like I said, we don't turn it on for you. It's part of the building blocks that you have to turn on yourself. What type of encryption are you using? What type of tools have you turning on to enable the ability to encrypt your data? Under logging and monitoring, it's really about gaining insight into what's going on in your environment. Do you have our cloud trail turned on, which is like the audit history of every activity that happens in your environment? Are those turned on so you can see what's going on, to have the visibility, which you could then act upon through other security controls? So I believe the keynote talk about automation with machine learning, acting on incidents. All that can be done by turning on some of these features to help you. But you don't know what you don't know. And this is a great spot to help you get started. And along that will be some of the education to help you be identified as part of the cloud adoption framework. And then finally, being able to respond quickly. If there is an incident, what are you doing to respond? Can you do it automatically? Can you alert someone automatically? There's different things you can do to help in this area of the security pick. To be able to continuously improve as well. So you need to be able to learn and adapt, and those tools keep evolving, and so will your skills. So being able to have this, what we call the flywheel effect, that goes round and round as you learn and develop and learn and develop, is part of the overall process to cloud adoption. So what can we help you to get started? What are some resources? We have the white paper so you can read online. Cloud Adoption Framework is one. This security perspective that most of this content is based on is another white paper that you can read. Online courses and workshops, instructor-led training, immersion days, so someone like myself that has the technical skills, knowledge, can come in and discuss topics that you want to have. Security and compliance day workshops. These are titles. The links won't help you here because this is a PowerPoint deck, but they would bounce you to appropriate white papers, some of which I recommend reading all of them. Tagging and best practices I highlight as one. It's not necessarily security specific, but really a great best practice for you to adopt on AWS Cloud. More security training resources that are online you can take along with other different workshops. And more training resources. So security engineering on AWS is a 3-day course, more immersion days, security compliance workshops. And again, professional services and partners are here to help you on your journey. When you're ready, and your team is ready, as part of those actionable things and defining your skills, your team members can work towards certifications that really help solidify their knowledge on AWS. And there's various different paths with the base foundation of the associate up to more challenging professional level certifications, and then focusing in on specialties. And this is a growing list. Those specialties will keep coming out with newer and newer ones. So before I hand it over to Mark, so how do we secure our cloud? How do we start our cloud secure journey? So a couple questions for you to think about in your mind. I'll just read a couple of them off. So do you have visibility in your current cloud security posture? Are all aspects of security covered? Do you have all the stakeholders aligned? Remember, it's not just an IT journey. You have to involve all those 6 people, different stakeholders from those different perspectives along with your journey as well. So with that, I'll invite Mark up.
So thanks, Ryan. Hopefully that was informative in providing a little bit as to what AWS provides. One thing I always get whenever I think about AWS is it's not just everything we see around security is not just necessarily about the cloud. Everything can be applied directly to your on-premise environments. The key challenge in all of this stuff is you put the words, you say, okay, security of everything. And it's kind of how do we go through and manage desktops? How do we go through and manage networks? How do we go through and manage server infrastructure, whether it's an edge device or whether it's in a data center? AWS just happens to provide a significant component to that. Key thing we look at though is what's the piece for, where do we come in? So you see that whole list of everything that is the customer responsibility. So this is where we come in. We come in and we sit here and work with you. We actually have built out, with all of our experience over the last 20 years, a complete security solution that sits on top of the AWS infrastructure. So AWS does the security of the cloud, which is what Ryan just shared with you, and we go and do the security in the cloud. So we actually we're currently doing a project in the Department of National Defense to show how we can go through and manage protected B data and HR data in the AWS cloud in Montreal. That's to go through and show how it can actually be done using these toolings. All of our security infrastructure, as an example, is currently used by the Transport for London bicycle rental network in the City of London, in the UK. We do everything in a private cloud over there, and we run that bicycle rental network. 25,000 bikes moving around dynamically every minute. It's an IoT environment as well as a dynamic, secure environment. So we actually manage that. It's all locked down, private networks. We do everything from the client-side data encryption, data integrity, and authentication, privileged user access, secure virtual desktops for all of the operators, dispatching out to all the field crews, as well as providing in and managing all the firewall security and all of the privileged and identity management. So as privileged users, we run clusters of AD and ADFS infrastructure for different sets of different user populations. Whether it's an end user, whether it's a dedicated directory, whether it's a synchronization of the directory from on-premise to the cloud, that's all incorporated into our FUSECONTROL product. Recently, what we're kind of just was providing right now is everything we've been doing over the European market is now deployed in Montreal. So it's available now for everybody in the Canadian market and the public sector to actually start using. And it's all sold as a subscription service. Now that's great, that handles the security aspect. One other part that we always look at and say, okay, how are you looking at running your different applications right now in the cloud as well? So you start looking at applications and let's say you're running a work order management system for public works. How do I handle a multi-clustered system? How do I scale it up? How do I decrease the cost of operation? we've actually put together another product called FUSECONTROL, and that's what it does. So again, it works on top of the AWS infrastructure, and it actually goes through and handles the configuration management of all the application infrastructure. So we've got it, we did a project and we pioneered this, filed a couple of patents about it with City of Portland. And they were basically, we were implementing a large enterprise asset management system. And one of the things we pioneered was the approach of doing pre-configurations. It only took us 4 months to go live, not 2 years. So we basically started the project in January. They were live. We kind of had to spin up the infrastructure. And that was one, and then basically went live within about a 5-month window. That's the kind of thing that we do now within our FUSECONTROL product for any of the application workloads. We have a complete automation mechanism in place so that you can scale up and scale down. So when tax season arrives, you have to receive more tax, and you have to go and spin up more servers to handle all the online customers. You can spin up additional servers, or even during the day. If it's just during the day, I need it for 3 hours, you can spin it up in 3 hours, and then it automatically spins down. Those are the kinds of things that we do inside our FUSECONTROL.